Hello, babies. As promised, this is going to be another pick a pile reading for this week. I am going to try to get better at doing these, as I said in all of the piles last week. One thing I do want to mention, actually two things I want to mention. First, there is smoke coming towards me from my cleansing bowl, which is usually a really big omen that's like there's a manifestation coming towards you. I don't remember where I saw this, but when I was doing active research into spirituality, one of the things that I had stumbled across was smoke coming towards you is an omen of a manifestation being near or on its way. Okay. Also, what's really cool is, as you can tell from the title, we're doing like a what's coming next. So what is coming towards you, what opportunities are manifesting, what relationships might be coming in. It's going to be different for each person. These are collective, as y'all know. But what's really interesting is when I was pulling all the cards for the piles today, they pulled me to this one and said bonus. And then they told me to do this in the intro. So these are little messages from the universe. I don't know what this is about, but we're going to pull these on camera. And as I did last week for the piles, I'm going to do them off camera. I'm so sorry for those of you that don't like that. I just find that it utilizes the time way better, and I was able to get an actual full reading for 15 minutes versus pulling for 5 minutes and then you guys only getting a 10-minute reading. So I think it's just the best optimizing time process thing. If you don't like that though, there are other readings on my channel that I did pull during the video. Anyway, y'all just gotta trust me, okay? You just gotta trust me. That could be a message in itself for some of y'all. Maybe part of what you need to do and what's going to help open up things for you is learning how to trust a little bit more. They're immediately pulling me to my cross, so this could have to do with God. This could have to do with your spiritual team, whatever it is that you believe in, okay? But let's see. What is the message from the universe for this collective? Immediately. My energy creates my reality. What I focus on is what will manifest. I honestly really feel like some of y'all have been focusing on, some of you this is a partner, some of you this is a job opportunity, some of you this is an aspect of your self-healing. But I feel like the focus and energy that you've been putting into whatever it is you're trying to create, I'm hearing something about co-creating with the universe. So whatever this is manifesting as, I feel like it is so close you can almost taste it. Like honestly, they are showing me the fall for this group being really significant. So whatever this manifestation is that you've been calling into fruition could manifest for you around the fall time. They are showing me like the beginning of September, okay? That just flew. It wouldn't be a real reading if things didn't fall, right? In every moment, the universe is conspiring to bring me toward right-minded thinking and the energy of love. So fun fact, I had a professor, when I was in university for psychology, tell me that the whole concept of left brain and right brain is actually not correct. Take that what you will with it. Apparently it's some false internet jargon is what he liked to say. And he was a very science-based professor. He said that like creativity flows naturally through your brain. It's not like on one certain side of your brain. And anyway, I'm digressing. Some of you could be intellectuals, much like myself, and maybe you enjoy learning things like that. This says, when I'm connected to my joyful presence, I attract support from the universe. Something about watercolor paints could be significant moving forward in the next couple of months or weeks for the collective energy. These cards always give me that vibe. And if it's not watercolor specifically, there could be something about like learning to paint. Maybe you're getting more into your creativity. They're also showing me that like old witch's tip that if someone has overstayed their welcome in your home, taking a broom and flipping it upside down. I don't know. Some of you could be doing research into like witchy stuff, like old wives' tales or like witchy tips that like not many people know. Like they're not very mainstream. Like they're showing me like scouring Reddit kind of vibes. At the bottom of this deck, we have true healing occurs when I give myself permission to feel. Whatever feelings live below the triggers. I love that. Some of y'all are working through some triggers this week. Anyway, we're going to jump into the pile options in the next little clip here. If you need to, y'all know the drill by now, but if you need to, pause it, take a couple deep breaths if you're not instantly drawn to a pile. You might be drawn to more than one because maybe there's more than one opportunity coming in for you. Take it however it resonates, okay? But I love y'all, and I'll catch you in the piles. Hello! This is for those of you that chose pile number 1, or you were drawn to my beautiful After Tarot deck. So I'm gonna mention this is depicted as like a couple seconds after the traditional Raider White, so there could be some sort of impactful energy about either traditional or like something shifting in your atmosphere. Okay, take it how it resonates. The other thing I want to mention is when I was pulling the cards and I was asking Spirit to give us clear guidance into what's coming in for this group, I did just start hearing purge. Like when the moon came out, they just started screaming the word a purge. So I feel like for a lot of you, and especially because we're ending off, like the tarot portion ends off, confirmation with the 10 of Wands reversed. This group is purging a lot of outdated ideals, negative mindsets, blockages within your finances, blockages within your sense of self. Take it however it resonates for you, but like you are purging a lot of stuff right now that has been underneath the surface for, I'm hearing, the majority of your life. And I think it's very intriguing that I heard the word purge when the moon card came out, because that tells me that like part of what's being released in this collective's energy has a lot to do with like your illusions, your anxieties, your fears, your insecurities, things that have been holding you back and keeping you trapped in certain cycles for far longer than they needed to. 111 when I just looked over, and you guys aren't going to see that, so it's confirmation. And then I think it's even more intriguing that the 10 of Wands in the reverse position followed it, because that's even more confirmation to me that like part of what I feel like's been burdening this particular collective had a lot to do with outdated ideals surrounding anxiety and fear from past trauma, which is totally valid, babe. Okay, totally valid. But I feel like you're starting to recognize that at this particular point in your healing journey, in your adult or young adult or whatever life, however old you are, you're starting to realize that like what coping mechanisms and patterns you had when you were younger served their purpose, but they're actually causing you more harm than good at this chapter in your life. And it's like they're showing me a snake shedding its skin. It's like you're shedding all of that old, outdated, negative energy and stepping into such a secure position within yourself. Because the Queen of Pentacles being at the bottom of the deck, first of all, such an omen. I just want to mention that. Secondly, there's something about a rabbit, very significant. Rabbits are really fast-paced energy, in my opinion. Like, they're really quick movement. They also have wild attitudes. Like, having a pet rabbit myself, I happen to know that firsthand. So there could be something significant about your attitude or someone's attitude around you. I'm also sensing some of y'all need to look up rabbit spiritual symbolism. There could be some sort of significance surrounding what they symbolize spiritually. I do believe fertility, but don't quote me. Anyway, the bottom of the deck energy, as y'all already know, is an energy to me of what your overall spread is saying. Okay, so this is telling me, especially because in this imagery she is like holding the pentacle and looking at it, this is telling me that for a lot of you, part of what you've been working towards has to do with your financial stability, especially because you also have this Page of Pentacles here. I feel like the majority of this collective, I'm being guided to just flip them over and read them as is. So the majority of this collective, you are shifting into such a secure place financially, and I feel like part of what you're shedding, especially with this devil being right next to that moon, has a lot to do with outdated ideals surrounding your finances. You could have grown up in a really like toxic environment in the sense of like money was always an issue. It was always a blockage. They're showing me like a scarcity or a poverty mindset. This is so specific, but they're showing me a collective of people who like you were taught at a very young age to conserve water and not flush the toilet if you peed. You know what I mean? It's like that level of scarcity is what I'm being guided to mention. And I feel like a lot of you have either just gotten your own place or you're embarking on your own journey when it comes to like, I don't know how to explain it, but there's something about having your own roots, okay? And I feel like because of that, Spirit's saying like it's time for you to let go of all of that shit from your childhood, all of that past ideals, all of the negative mindsets surrounding financial stability, because you are healing your relationship with money right now. And I feel like the opportunities that are coming in for this collective actually align to the version of you that you're becoming with this Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, and then the 5 of Cups is underneath of that with the 5 of Swords. And then the 9 of Pentacles under that. That's crazy. So there is a lot coming towards you when it comes to your sense of stability and financial increase in abundance is what I'm being guided to mention. But this new journey that you're about to embark on, Spirit's saying like you have to shed the last few layers of your outdated ideals. Interesting. So I always do music with my readings, and I think it's interesting that we talk so much for like the first almost 5 minutes without me hitting shuffle on my YouTube music. So like that tells me that like honestly I feel like this collective's focused is like laser into whatever it is that they're trying to create. And if you're not currently in a position where you're working on your finances and trying to find more security within yourself financially speaking, this might not be your pile, because I feel like for a lot of you this is very much focused on your bag. You're focused on your finances. You're focused on your stability. You're focusing on budgeting and like finding a little bit more practicalness is what I just heard. That's not a word, but with your financial security. And I feel like the more focus you put into that, the more you're attracting. Okay. So if you were hoping to hear about your love life or something else, maybe go choose a different pile. I also didn't even notice that my speaker's not on. So like something about a high vibration. Oh! The way he said yeah right when that's crazy. Some of y'all, this is what I mean. Like, I really feel like your focus lately, I'm actually being called to pull all of these because of how we're reading for this pile. I feel like your focus lately has been so much on building stability within yourself and breaking free from this energy of the moon and the devil. And I feel like this combination specifically is really telling me that this group is like putting in that work, is what I'm hearing. Especially because now they're pulling me to this strength with the 3 of Wands, and I just looked down and it's 555 on the timer. So 555 is usually a symbol of change. Oftentimes this is positive change, and for this particular group, I really do feel like that's what this is. I feel like you are starting to manifest exactly what you want. You're bringing in, I don't know how to, they're showing me like self-expression, but you're bringing in more financial security, you're bringing in stability, you're bringing in abundance, and you're starting to kind of recognize that when you wait and let things come to you naturally, that's when things truly manifest in a beautiful way. Especially with this strength card, like this collective, I feel like in the past, when you were younger or when you were in the throngs of this energy over here with the moon and the devil, I feel like you would kind of allow your illusions, your insecurities, your unhealthy attachments, you would allow your shadow to kind of run the show. And I feel like one of the things that you're recognizing is when you just stand in your own power, you stand in your strength, and you allow things to manifest naturally, that's when things truly open up for you. Because the 3 of Wands is all about waiting to receive, whereas the strength is about having courage and power within yourself. And I feel like this is an omen for this group that like things are truly opening up for you in such a beautiful way. However, I did feel like there was a combination with this particular combo, and I was correct. So the moon with the devil is actually an indication that you need to be careful of manipulative or destructive people in your life, including yourself, who might take advantage of you. I feel like this is an omen for what you've dealt with. I feel like presently there's not really anyone trying to take advantage of your kindness or trying to like take advantage of your financial security. I feel like this is past energy that could still be influencing this collective in the present. Especially because now they're immediately pulling me to that 10 of Wands in the reverse position. It's like part of what you need to let go of, part of what you need to purge and release here has to do with the burdens of people trying to make you their breadwinner, trying to make you take care of them emotionally, financially, mentally, whatever. And I feel like you're starting to recognize that you have done it all the majority of your life. You've carried the burden of other people's emotions. You've carried the burden of your own trauma. You've carried the burden of other people. And I feel like one of the things that's starting to happen for you right now, especially because this is going on top of this, right? Like this 10 of Wands in the reverse is going on top of the strength card. So part of the reason that you're finding your powers, part of the reason you're gaining the courage to move your life in a different direction is because not only are you allowing for progress to just come to you, but you also have been really working hard to delegate the burdens and release them, because you're recognizing that like you hold more power within yourself when you're standing in your truth than you do when you're allowing other people to kind of dictate the path, if that makes sense. Yeah, especially because like this Page of Pentacles is going on top of that 3 of Wands now, right? So like this is even more of an omen to me that this collective, there is an opportunity coming towards you. For a lot of you, this has to do with your finances. Like they just keep bringing me back to financial stability. For others of you, this could have to do with a connection. Please take it how it resonates. But I really do feel like for a lot of you, there's a job offer coming. Something that you can't quite see either, because the Queen of Pentacles is going on top of that moon's influence. So for some of you, there's still some shit clouding your mind. There's still something clouding your judgments, clouding you from seeing the reality of what it is that you're letting go of, what it is that's coming towards you. And I feel like for a lot of you, it has to do with this influence over here with the Devil and the 5 of Cups. So the 5 of Cups tells me that there's some emotions that you need to process surrounding regret, surrounding disappointment. Something didn't work out according to plan. And for a lot of you, I feel like with this Devil's influence, it probably has to do with something that was a little bit codependent, or that you were building a codependent foundation in. something about your shadow kind of dictated whatever this was, is what I'm hearing. And there's been some conflict in this dynamic or in this situation. For some of you, this definitely has to do with your job. Like, perhaps you were offered a job opportunity that you thought was going to lead you to this Nine of Pentacles. You thought it was going to bring in a lot of abundance and a lot of security, but it actually kind of did the opposite. It created a little bit of conflict. It put you in a tight spot financially. This could have even had to do, this is very specific, but some of you decided to move into a new place because you thought it was like the right move. And you're now realizing that it's actually caused you to be more bound by your instability financially. Like, maybe this particular house or home is out of budget, and you could be recognizing that, like, this created a little bit more burdens than it should have. Or for some of you, maybe you decided to move in with someone, like a roommate or even a partner, take it how it resonates. And you could be recognizing that, like, they're taking advantage of you. Like, you're carrying their emotional weight. You're carrying, like, their... Honestly, for some of you, you're playing the mom in a position that, like, you do not need to be. And I feel like there could be a little bit of conflict around that right now, but, like, it is going to level out in divine timing. I know that's so frustrating to hear, but, like, it is working out the way it's meant to. It's moving in the right direction. You just have to have a little bit more faith in that. Something about grapes. Specifically, they're showing me, like, red grapes. They are showing me, like, red wine could be significant. So some of you, this could have to do with an alcohol addiction. Maybe you're in the process of purging that, you're letting go of it, and they're immediately pulling me to this energy here. So, like, yeah, this is something that a lot of y'all have been working towards. You've been, like, putting in that grunt work with that Seven of Pentacles. But I feel like there's, like, an energy where you almost want to throw in the towel. You want to give up. What did I say about divine timing? This is all boiling down to divine timing. Everything that you're trying to create in your life right now is going to manifest when the timing is right. You just have to have a little bit more faith in not only yourself, but the divine, God, spirit, whatever it is that you believe in. Because you're putting that work in. You're manifesting the things that you want. And with this Page of Pentacles and Nine of Pentacles so close to each other, I really do feel like what you want is so much closer than you realize. But this collective keeps allowing their mind to get clouded by outdated ideals and negative patterns from their past. So you're still in the process of breaking free from old shit, is basically what I'm sensing. Especially because now they're pulling me to, like, this image on the Five of Cups. There's, like, a man standing with 3 cups knocked over, 2 still standing, and then someone drowning in the background. So some of y'all are so focused on things that didn't work out according to plan, and you're seeing them as failures versus opportunities for growth, that you're not actually recognizing the parts of you that feel like they're drowning. Like, there's an aspect of this collective that your emotions are kind of like, they're literally showing me, like, a tsunami almost. Like, they're pulling you down, and Spirit's saying, like, until you process and feel what you need to feel surrounding this loss, you're going to continue to repeat this cycle. They're showing me, like, going in a circle. This could have to do with a spicy connection. There could have been a connection that you thought was going to be more than it was, which does make a lot of sense to me with that Devil card being here. Like, there was an aspect of this dynamic that you could have shared with somebody that you thought was more than it was. You thought it was going to go the distance. You thought this was someone that you were going to create stability with. You thought this person had the same, like, ambition and, like, a focus on their bag that you did. But in reality, this was very lust-based. And I feel like the unfortunate reality is Spirit saying, like, we had to show you this way in order for you to actually see it. Something about strawberries. I don't know why, but I'm tasting them. All right, what else do we have for pile number 1 for what opportunities are coming in for them? Yeah, really big emphasis on this here, okay? So 2 sides of this coin is what I just heard. One side of this coin, I'm seeing, like I had mentioned, this collective could be realizing there was a connection that they were tied to that was actually very lust-based in nature. This was someone that just wanted to have casual you-know-what. Others of you, and this is only for my babies that have been on a celibacy journey. Okay, so if you have not been celibate for over a year to 2 years or longer, this message is not for you. And I never say that. This message is for people who have been celibate for at least a minimum of a year. Like, I wish I could, like, underline that sentence, okay? Those of you that have been celibate for over a year or more, you are actually being called to open up your sexuality, to open up to the idea of potentially having casual you-know-what. Because I'm sure y'all have heard me say this before. I don't think this is a bad thing. Having spicy interactions is not necessarily bad so long as you're making sure that they're people that are on your frequency. Because yes, it is an energy exchange, but you do not need to reject someone that you feel is aligned to you. You are a human being, and human beings crave sexual stuff. Okay? Like, it's a fact of life. Like, you're human and humans have needs. And I feel like one of the things, especially with this opening up card, one of the things that Spirit's really encouraging this collective to do is get more comfortable with the idea of casual encounters. Because the more you get comfortable with that, the more, like, the less pressure you're going to put on romantic connections. Some of you need to remember that love is beautiful, don't get me wrong, but dating is meant to be fun. You don't need to fixate on finding your perfect partner or focusing on where it's going to go or ending up married. You can just have fun with it. Let things flow. And if actual time is all that manifests, that's okay. Some of you have some trauma surrounding this because you would have a lot of spicy encounters but not be respected. So one of the things that Spirit's saying, like, you need to recognize that if you do this, you're taking back control of that piece of you that felt like you lost control in those moments. So having spicy times with certain people is not necessarily going to be bad for you. It's going to actually help you on a fundamental level. Now, again, that's not for everyone. I really want to reiterate that that's only for my people who have been on a celibacy journey, okay? I do feel like there is going to be some intimate date coming forward between you and someone. Like, somebody wants to spend the night with you. This person's opening up to you. But yeah, there is some shadow work here. What did I say? There's shadow work that needs to be done pertaining to your sexuality for a lot of this collective. And I think it's so interesting that, like, I'm very surprised that I was even drawn to this oracle deck for pile number 1, because the main focus in the tarot was all about your finances and your stability. And then now we're moving into this energy where it's all about, like, smexual energy. But it all correlates to your shadow. So a lot of you are being guided to, like, do some grunt work surrounding some trauma, okay? Like, point blank period. Something about someone who likes to hunt. I don't know. That could be significant for someone. And then we do have the skepticism at the bottom of the deck. So that's even more of an omen to me that, like, this collective, like, your skepticism ties into your shadow side. So one of the things that you need to do is kind of, like, figure out how to detach from that and just be open to whatever is manifesting. Because we also have the ego poking out too. So, like, your ego, it tends to cause you to be skeptical of, like, opportunities, okay? It causes you to not really recognize the truth. Someone feels a little bit empty without you. Anyway, my loves, that's what I have for pile number 1. I hope that helps whoever it's meant for. And if you are interested, there are some songs that we're playing in the background. They are in the description box below. I love y'all, and I hope you have a great rest of your week. Hello, babies. This is for those of you that chose pile number 2, or you were drawn to this beautiful tarot deck here. I do not know the name of it. I'm so sorry. I'm trying not to look at the bottom of the deck influence quite yet for some reason. So I feel like something is being kept hidden from this collective. And much like pile number 1, when I was pulling the cards and asking what opportunities were coming in for this group, I heard something. So I heard cleansing and then closure. Okay, so for some of you, there is about to be an opportunity for a cleansing in your mind, your body, your soul, your spirit, whatever. And I also feel like this cleansing is going to lead towards closure in a dynamic that you share with someone from your past. This could be platonic, romantic, familial. It doesn't have to be a romantic partner. Honestly, for some of you, I do feel like this has to do with a parent, or something that ties into trauma in some capacity. So maybe a trauma bond that you had with somebody. Take it however it resonates, okay? But now let's, without further ado, I still have no idea what this card is. I don't know why they don't want me to see it yet. I'm gonna go ahead and hit shuffle on my YouTube Super Mix and see what comes through for this pile. And the songs, of course, are going to be in the description box below, as always. So the first one to come on for this group is called She Hates Me by Puddle of Mud. So, honestly, interesting energy. Now let's look. 3 of Wands. Ooh. I don't know why. I just heard, ooh, ah. I'm also seeing, like, a plum purple shade. And then we have the High Priestess underneath of that with the Knight of Swords. So there is something coming in really quickly for this collective, and you can intuitively feel it. Honestly, it's bringing me back to what I had just mentioned. I feel like there's a moment of closure, like a moment of clarity, whether this is psychically, intuitively, same thing in my opinion, but whether this is, like, within you internally or externally. For the majority of this particular collective, I do feel like this is external. Like, I feel like somebody's going to be coming forward and, like, expressing some truth about why they didn't invest the way that they should have for some of you. For others of you, it might not necessarily be direct, is what I am sensing. Especially those of you that this ties into a trauma bond or a parental figure that was very toxic. Those of you that resonate with that, this is probably going to be more internal than external. You're going to have, like, a moment of clarity that helps you to kind of close the door on some toxic shit. Yeah, literally 5 of Cups, King of Wands, the Lovers, damn, the Nine of Wands, the Magician, and the Page of Swords, which is crazy because I was literally just about to say, so for some of you, this does involve a spiritual connection that you shared with someone who actually is pretty powerful. But as I was flipping over the cards and I got to this one, like I hadn't even seen it yet, and I started hearing I was too immature. So for a lot of you, whoever this is representative of, this person's gonna like express that to you. They're gonna be like, you know what? Like, I know that we had a spiritual connection, but when I met you, I was immature. I was too young. I'm hearing that like line from, I think it's an Eminem song, and it's definitely not PG, so I'm just gonna say young, dumb, and full of, you know what I mean? This person's like, honestly, I feel like for a lot of you, gonna put a lot on the line here. However, there's two sides of this collective, okay? On one side of this, if it feels right, if you feel like they're more aligned to you now than they were then, there is a potential to kind of like rekindle things. Especially because we do have like the Lovers here with the Magician as well. And if you set boundaries with this Nine of Wands and this person respects your boundaries and they kind of like go at your pace, then I feel like there is an opportunity for something to open up. Now, on the other side of this, I feel like you might choose that too much damage has been done here. It's very dependent on what happened in the past for this collective is what I'm being guided to mention. So if there was too much hurt involved in this, then I feel like you might actually end up walking away from this person. But for some of you, there's something very symbolic about, like, I feel like the majority of you are going to give this another opportunity because, like, that is the energy I'm leaning towards. So if this is something that you would not reinvest in, maybe go choose another pile. You've already heard what you needed to hear, is what I'm being guided to mention. Those of you that would reinvest in a connection with this person, this is your reading, okay? But I'm being pulled to this energy here about how she's like, traditionally speaking, the Five of Cups is someone focused on the cups that are knocked over and like they're looking down at the three that are tipped over, right? But in this particular card's imagery, she's not looking at them. She's looking behind her. She's looking towards us, right? So I feel like there's something symbolic about that. It's almost like this collective, you've always been kind of looking back to see if this person was progressing, if they were healing, if they were getting to your level, especially for those of you that identify with this being like a twin flame or a soulmate energy. Like, you have always known this was a spiritual connection. This person just didn't acknowledge that in the past. Now, I am the type to tell you never to take back someone who is physically, emotionally abusive or actually abusive. Never accept someone like that back into your life. That's just my personal belief, especially if DV is involved, because that person at the end of the day probably is never going to change, okay? This is not that type of energy. This is someone who definitely took advantage of you, who definitely hurt you, and I feel like they broke your heart, is what I'm hearing, but this person was not intentionally hurting you, if that makes sense. Like, I really want to drill that home for this collective. This was not someone that you had a really toxic relationship with. This was not someone that there was a lot of, like, abuse. Okay, this is somebody that there was always depth to the love, but it's giving, like, right person, wrong time kind of energy, okay? The song Indigo by MGK, which I think is interesting. MGK's on his, like, sober king journey, right? And I feel like he honestly gives, like, King of Wands vibes to me. So, like, I feel like this is symbolic of whoever this was could have had some addiction issues when you were with them. They did just show me, like, if you know, you know. And alcohol, okay, for some of you. Others of you, it could have been pills. They're showing you that as well. And sativa is what I just saw, very specific, okay? Don't know why I said sativa and not indica or anything like that, but there's a reason. But what's really interesting to me is I feel like, especially because they just keep pulling me back to how, like, you're looking at this. It's like you're looking back. You're like, I'm ready for closure, is what I just heard. And this person, I feel like they have a heavy heart. Especially if they put you in a third party, is what I'm being guided to mention. Especially if they made you question your worth. The other thing I am being guided to share here is, like, I'm sure a lot of y'all have heard this because I feel like this collective had their own sobriety journey. Part of the reason you were drawn to this person could have been because of your own addiction issues, but I'm sure y'all have heard this before, but addictions make you a different person. And I feel like this individual is definitely on his sober journey or her sober journey or their sober journey, take it how it resonates. This person is definitely on a journey of sobriety, and I feel like as they go through the motions of their healing and becoming sober, they're reflecting on their past a lot. And I feel like part of what they're reflecting on and recognizing is they hurt you. Yeah, because, like, again, unintentionally, like, this person's addictions were so dominant that they didn't even realize when they would project onto other people or when they would potentially hurt other people. And one of the things that's shifting in this collective, first and foremost, you are in a really powerful position within yourself. And I feel like this person is starting to catch up to you. This is something a lot of you have prayed for. You've been manifesting for quite some time, especially with this Magician card being here. Like, this is giving, for some reason, the imagery is really giving me the energy that you kept, like, handing the universe what you wanted. You kept being like, this is what I want. And it was whoever this is. Because you saw such a potential in them, but they were never stepping up to that potential. This had to do with their own insecurity issues, their own fears, their own trauma. And I feel like that was actually causing them to gravitate towards their addictions. But one of the things that this individual is doing is starting to recognize their own resilience and their own power. And they're starting to kind of step up to that version of them that you saw them to be, if that makes sense. Especially because, like, the King of Wands, traditionally speaking, is, like, my leadership card. This is my charismatic energy. This is my, I'm powerful and I know it and I'm not afraid to be that. This is someone who has confidence and is not afraid to step into the position of power that they hold. But I feel like the past version of them was too scared of that. Which you can understand, because this is giving very traditional twin energy. So this collective can understand that, because you also felt the same way. It's giving imposter syndrome. So you're both kind of, I'm seeing like a mirror in my mind's eye. You're reflecting each other. Interesting. But there is a really big emphasis on this group needing to have healthy boundaries with this person if you choose to re-engage. Okay, like the song Take Your Time by Sam Hunt. And I do feel like with the Magician being here, like, this is coming in a lot sooner than this collective realizes. Honestly, I'm being brought back to what I said in the introduction about smoke coming towards you being an omen of your manifestation being near. That could have been partly for this particular pile. Because I do feel like this person is so much closer than you realize. I'm seeing something about the next full moon cycle being really significant for this collective's energy. So this person might reappear during that time frame. They might pop up unexpectedly. I'm being pulled to another oracle deck for this group. That's interesting. Yeah, especially with, like, the Lovers being here, right? Like, there's an omen of something coming in, especially, like, I'm now realizing that the Page of Swords is going on top of that Five of Cups and the Lovers, and it's sitting right next to that Magician's energy. So the Page of Swords is oftentimes depicted as a message, okay? I feel like this person has been observing you from a distance, through social media, through friends of friends. I don't know, take it however it resonates. Like, you guys could have similar circles, is what I'm hearing as well. And this is what you can feel coming. That makes so much sense. Because remember, we started this whole reading talking about how, like, there's communication coming and you can intuitively feel it. That's what this is. This person's about to pop up. I honestly do hear rather impulsively. Because they can't really hold back anymore. They can't resist expressing their truth to you. Interesting. This is all boiling down to divine timing. All right, what do we have for pile number 2, please, Spirit? Something about a motorcycle could be significant. You want a person who comes into your life by accident but stays on purpose. Beautiful. Never make permanent decisions on temporary feelings. There's something about this collective not making choices from a reactive standpoint. So I am also hearing when this person opens up to you, when they express their truth, when they tell you their fears and what's been holding them back and, like, being with you, there is a need for you to take some time before you reply. Okay? I feel like taking, like, a day, a few hours, whatever feels right. Make sure that you're reacting from a grounded place, not a reactive place. Okay? So, like, they really want you to sit with yourself for a bit before you answer. And where does the power come from? It comes from within. Something about dragons could be important for this collective's energy. They did just show me a dragon tattoo. And then now I'm hearing a girl with a tattoo, which is a song. You will meet your soulmate when the time is right. Interesting. You are moving onto a steady and reliable path. For some of you, this is the kind of presence this person's going to come in with, okay? Let things come and go. Stay calm. Don't let anything disturb your peace and carry on. Beautiful. At the bottom of the deck, we have life is tough, but so are you. All right, let's see what this deck wants. Something about a lime green, like the color. There could be something about a lime green. I am seeing motorcycle, so like for some of you, a lime green bike could be significant. It could also be a dirt bike, I just heard. It doesn't have to be a motorcycle. Others of you, it could just be lime green in general. Take it how it resonates, okay? But what do we have for pile number 2, please, Spirit? For what opportunities are coming in for them? What else do you want to add to this reading? Interesting. So I knew this card was going to come out. Part of the reason that I feel like I was drawn to this deck is because of this card. A lot of you are used to unrequited love. You're used to connections that start off really intense, that start off with a lot of attraction. They start off in a really love-bombing energy where there's constant communication. You're constantly up each other's asses. And I feel like all of those relationships from your past fizzled really quickly. And for a lot of you, that's because there was never enough attraction or chemistry to keep the relationship going. You were just feeding off each other's dopamine highs. And I feel like one of the things that's shifting is you're recognizing that real relationships take time. They take stability. They take effort. They take consistency. And I feel like that's what's coming in. That's why this collective is being so guided to like wait a day or a few hours to reply. We do also have playfulness. I feel like that's what's entering in for this group. There's an energy of like innocence coming in. Okay, like this relationship coming towards y'all is going to bring forward such a youthful, playful, fun energy. I love it. Spirit's reminding this group that you are lovable. You deserve love. You deserve to be loved. You don't need to continue to go into these cycles with unrequited energies where you're giving more than you're receiving. Go for the soft one, is what I just heard. The one that makes you feel gentle. The one that makes you feel playful. The one that makes you feel like a kid again. The one that makes you feel calm. And the one that is calm is the one that is for you, is what I just heard. We do also have past life relationship. You have known each other before. Didn't I say something about like traditional like soulmate twin flame energy? Confirmation. Spirit's encouraging this collective to make the effort. Real love is worth taking the steps you are guided to take. Don't let your pride get in the way, is what I just heard as well. We also have, is it safe for me to love? Which is crazy that that came out when I said don't let your pride get in the way. This is even more confirmation. Like, some of y'all need to open up your heart. Open up to the divine. Open up to receive love. And don't let your fear or your pride or your anxiety hold you back anymore. We do have religious factors. So for some of you, your spiritual beliefs, your practices, whatever it is that you believe in could be a bit of a blockage and could be influencing this dynamic. This particular person could have very different ideals around religion than you. Take it how it resonates. But we do also have the codependency here, which is even more confirmation of what I said in the very beginning. First and foremost, addictions were definitely dominant in this energy in the past, okay? Secondly, I was talking more about the beginning of this oracle deck when I said that you're used to very love-bombing, very fast, very quick-paced energy. So steady, consistent connection really triggers this collective's nervous system. But that's because you are so used to codependent relationships that are built off of the dopamine rush and addictions. And part of this is teaching you the opposite. Now, the other side of this is this card does say addictions are affecting your romantic life. So it gives me even more confirmation to what I was talking about midway through the tarot, where there is an aspect of this person getting sober. Okay, so I feel like this person getting clean, coming off the you-know-what-y I just heard, is actually a big part of why this isn't moving. We also have flirt. Extend your lighthearted energy to others. And then at the bottom of the deck, we do have the wedding influence. So, like, this situation involves a marriage. It involves a high level of commitment. You just need to continue to have faith and trust that everything is working out according to plan. But that's what I have for my pile number 2. I just looked down at 1616 too, so that's confirmation. Anywho, this is what I have for y'all. And the songs, of course, are in the description box below if you are interested. And I will catch y'all next time. So, this is for those of you that chose pile number 3, or you were drawn to my spicy tarot deck. I'm going to try to keep this as PG as possible. I am hearing this might be one of my shorter piles today, so if you wanted a little bit more of an in-depth, longer reading, you might want to go choose another one. I don't actually know if that's going to happen. I just am being guided to warn y'all it might. Immediately when I was pulling these cards and the first 2 came out, my first reaction was, ooh. And then I heard sexual time. Spice. You know what is coming into this collective's life. And I feel like you're being guided to embrace it. Take it how it resonates for you, of course, but the first song to come on for this group is If I Can't Have You by Shawn Mendes. Someone, I'm seeing like a laser focus. Like, they are like laser focused on this collective. This person is in it to win it. And I'm seeing a second oracle deck in my mind's eye that they want me to use. Okay. Alright, so this is probably going to be a long reading as well. Anyway, at the bottom of the deck, this one doesn't have nudity, so we can show it. We have the Ace of Cups. So I feel like there is definitely a new beginning opening up in love for this collective's energy, especially because the first two cards that came out were the Three of Cups and the King of Cups, or the Knight of Cups. So there is an opportunity that is manifesting that's going to bring forward a lot of love and compassion in your heart. That's what I'm hearing, but I don't love that I also have the Seven of Swords here. So there's two things that could be going on within this group. One, you're putting the wrong person to these readings that you're watching. Okay, I feel like that is a pretty strong message coming through for a lot of you. You keep putting the wrong people in the position of your romantic partner, and then you keep ending up hurt because they're manipulating you. All right, like I say that with so much love. But there is a need for you to kind of dig a little bit deeper underneath the surface, especially if that sentence or that message triggered you. If it triggered you, there's truth to it. Secondly, I am seeing for some of you, there is a bit of a communication block, okay? And this could have to do with the residual energy from Mercury retrograde. It could have to do with like you and this person having fear of it. There's just like a withdrawn energy here for some of y'all, all right? I take it however it resonates, but what's really interesting to me, I can't show these cards because there's way too much nudity on them, but like the Three of Cups and the Knight of Cups are very intriguing. I can show this one. Like, she's in the water, kind of like surprised that he's shown up, right? So for some of you, whoever this is, there is some sort of a reunion coming forward. I am hearing traveling, so like this person might have to travel to get to you, and that might surprise some of you. I am also immediately being pulled to his hand placement here, if you can see it. Okay. I'm also feeling a very activated sacral chakra. If you know, you know. Something about red tulips could also be important for this group. Something about your hair in a long, like a long braid in the back. It immediately just made me think of 50 Shades of Grey whenever like Christian braids her hair before they get freaky in the red room. Yeah, like this line in the song just said, is it too late to tell you that everything means nothing if I don't have you? I feel like for some of you, this could be someone from your past. I hate to say that. I'm sorry, but I just felt like two of you roll your eyes at me like, fair. Okay, fair. But this person, I feel like maybe you were just friends. Like I don't actually feel like there was anything deep here. I don't even feel like you were ever involved intimately. And if you were, it was like a one-time thing, is what I'm hearing. But for the majority of you, I feel like you've never actually gotten spicy with this person. And this person's starting to gain some clarity about how they feel about you, and they want to come forward and like fix the damage that happened with this Seven of Swords. Because on this particular, I can show this. There's not a lot of nudity. I'm just going to cover her butt. So on this particular card's imagery, if you notice like they're back to back, like they have their backs to each other, I feel like this is what happened. Like there was some sort of block in communication. There was something that caused you both to kind of retreat, detach. But again, for a lot of you, I feel like it had to happen this way. Like there was something that needed to unfold the way that whatever you're experiencing in this dynamic had to happen for a reason. Like I am kind of hearing divine orchestration. Like this was divinely guided. So Spirit saying 444 on the timer when I just said that too. Spirit saying part of this for a lot of you had to do with like, I feel like especially with this card's imagery, which has no nudity on it, so I can show it. This card's imagery is giving me the vibe that this collective was pretty disassociated. I feel like you were either disconnected from the idea of this person or you were just disconnected from love in general. So whatever this Seven of Swords is representing, it's miscommunication for a lot of you. Like it doesn't feel that deep. And I feel like it was because you needed to kind of come back to reality. Like for some of you, this is the kind of partnership that you've been praying for. This is the kind of person that you've been calling into fruition for quite some time. Yeah, especially because the Nine of Cups is underneath of that Ace of Cups. And then we also have the Page of Pentacles underneath of it. So this is something that I really do feel like this collective's been praying for. You've been hoping on a star, if you will. And this opportunity came towards you. This person came in. And like some of you literally thought this is too good to be true. The passion is too intense. This person sets my soul on fire. This is too much for me. I can't effing handle it. Whatever narrative you told yourself. And this is what brought this energy in. It's almost like y'all self-sabotaged a little bit, okay? But it was more mentally than actually physically. Like, I feel like for a lot of you, the self-sabotage was internalized, but, like, because the energy was there, it may have affected this. But also, again, it had to happen this way. And with the Nine of Pentacles coming in, I feel like, first and foremost, this person sees you as very stable. They see you as very secure. I almost just said feed you. But I do feel like with the Eight of Cups, if you just had a question, the answer is yes. I do feel like with the Eight of Cups and the Nine of Pentacles being here, like, there could be an aspect of you cutting ties, okay? Because the Nine of Pentacles is my single card, so, like, this could be part of that. And the other side of it is this collective, you've been single for a long time, and I feel like because you've been single for so long, there's a part of you that's just like, okay, but what if this ruins my independence? What if this takes away all the growth that I've achieved? What if I fall into an old cycle? Like, there's a lot of negative narratives and what ifs going through your mind that are actually blocking this from manifesting. For some of you, you are an overthinker. And I feel like your overthinking is what's blocking this beautiful new beginning from opening up. There's no nudity on this one either. So, like, I really do feel like this collective, like, this is a wish come true. This is fulfillment in every form. But, like, you're so fucking afraid that you're like, no. What do we have for pile number 2? Yeah, this person's very curious about you. You have piqued their interest. Like, this person showing up as the Knight of Cups and the Page of Wands, like, this person's, like, on fire for you. They have a lot of romantic interest. They're very intrigued by you. They think you're incredibly sexy, I'm hearing. But there's something blocking this, and they're immediately pulling me back to that Seven of Swords and the Eight of Cups. And again, like, for a lot of you, that Seven of Swords doesn't feel like deception. Like, it really and truly feels like miscommunication. It feels like you and this person are having a hard time expressing yourselves. If this is new, that makes so much sense to me. So, if this is someone you just met and you don't know at all, I feel like there is a big, big part of both of you that is terrified of rejection. So you're not actually communicating. This is a block. This is why this happened, is also what I just heard for a lot of you. The song Complicated by Avril Lavigne. For a lot of you, part of the reason this is happening the way that it is because you need to be honest with this person about how you feel. Now, I feel called to mention, I said this in pile 2, I think. When you open up to this person and communicate how you're feeling and what you need, I need you to do this from a grounded place, okay? Don't do it when your emotions are really high. Make sure that you've taken some time to sit with yourself and actually sit with the energy. You're going to know when the timing is right, but don't react, is all I keep hearing on repeat. Yeah, because your trauma is triggered. That's what this is about for a lot of you. The Seven of Swords and the Eight of Cups, you're triggered. Your trigger is reacting, is what I'm hearing. And instead of seeing it from a balanced position with this connection is, your trauma's responding. Okay, so that's why this collective needs to take some time before they react or tell this person how they're feeling. Like, you need to ensure you're in a grounded place, babe. Okay? This person, this is giving and receiving. Like, this is equal. And I think it's crazy that we have childhood memories underneath the trauma involved, and then clear the air wants to go on top of that. So there is something about how, like, when you open up to this person, it's really interesting to me because this is so new. So I feel like for a lot of you, you just met. Maybe you've been on 2 or 3 dates. Like, you don't know each other very well. So I feel like there is a lot of triggers surrounding expressing yourself to this person, because in the past, when you would open up emotionally, that could have been used as, like, a manipulation tactic. Like, your past relationships used your trauma to, like, manipulate you better, if that makes sense. And I feel like there's a part of you that's really afraid of opening up to this person. But there is a need for that to happen. But I am also being guided to mention, like, you can open up to this person and say something as simple as, hey, it triggers me when you do this because I have trauma from my past. You do not need to go in depth with that trauma. Because for a lot of you, I do feel called to mention, do not trauma dump on this person. You and this individual are very sexually compatible, though, which doesn't shock me because we were drawn to that deck, right? And then we also have healing in progress going on top of the trauma involved. I'm just saying. And then we have lopsided effort. This is what you're used to. Something about a whippersnipper? I don't know. Take it how it resonates. Spirit's encouraging this group to stay the course, okay? Like, you're really being guided to just trust the process. Trust that this is unfolding as it's meant to. The next 2 weeks are going to level out. is what I'm hearing, all right? Which is interesting because that would be the end of the shadow period of Mercury retrograde. So for a lot of you, the Mercury retrograde energy is definitely affecting communication in this dynamic. And the other side of this is you're terrified of vulnerability. You're terrified of being open. You're terrified of expressing yourself. And this is causing a blockage as well, all right? There's a need for this group to just kind of pull your big girl panties or your big guy panties up and speak your truth. 11:11 on the timer. Yeah, I feel like you've had a lot of heartbreak. You've been stabbed in the back. You've dealt with a lot of deception. There's some sort of shocking attack that you're still holding on to. And Spirit's saying, like, you're constantly looking for the red flags. You're constantly trying to find the problems that may very well be there. Take it how it resonates for you, okay? But this says relational abuse. Notice red flags that may be emotional, physical, sexual, financial in nature. Ask for help in this situation. And then we also have keys on a ring. I really feel like this is this collective's trauma. Like, you've dealt with so many people breaking your heart and stabbing you in the back. You've dealt with so much shock when it comes to your nervous system that you are literally scanning for red flags in minimal energy, is what I'm hearing. You are convinced this person is stringing you along or is trying to have some sort of a one-night stand with you, when in reality, I feel like that's not necessarily the case. Some of you have been going out too much. You've been doing too much. And that's causing you to kind of look even more into this than you should be. Something about escapism could be significant. Little regard for others or consequences. Not paying attention, creating a mess. Yeah, we also have expectations. So for some of you, when the opportunity arises to have a conversation with this person, it might be really helpful for you to actually talk about what you want. What is it that you're looking for? Confirm you want the same things and see if they're willing to prioritize the relationship. And if that's what they're willing to do, then do it. Expectation yields results is what I'm being guided to mention. We do also have sudden change. I feel like this energy is going to lift. You're no longer going to be acting out of your trauma. Because we also have the ascending. There's some sort of shock coming to this collective. Yeah, I feel like it's this person calling you out of the blue. I feel like it's them expressing how they feel. I feel like they're going to be the ones to open up first for a lot of you, is what I'm hearing, okay? This person's going to come forward. They're going to express their love. They're going to tell you they've been thinking about you. And I honestly see a phone call for a lot of you. But it's going to be when you spend some time in your own company. A night in your own space. A moment alone. This says a partner is busy. And this is transcending obstacles, learning, expansion, new phase. So a lot of you, when you feel triggered, when your nervous system's feeling triggered in the way that I feel that this group has been dealing with, you tend to escape your reality by going out a lot, by doing too much, by drinking, whatever. And I feel like once you actually just kind of chill out, find healthy coping mechanisms, that's when this person's going to pop up. Because we literally have Cupid's arrow too. Like, Spirit's saying you need to have faith. Like, love is coming. This person might invite you somewhere. A surprise invitation could manifest. And they're pulling me to that love call. Yeah, we do also have the runner. So the runner in codependent relationships, fear of intimacy, listening to ego. And then we have hammer, self-sabotaging, rebuilding, integration, repetitive, persistent, and working on it. And then we have physical intimacy. The topic is up for discussion. Choose healthy, balanced relationships. Doing it for the right reasons. One more. So we have the golden mirror, self-absorbed, narcissist, one-sided relationship, and love bombing, and then healing heart coming out with it. That's even more validation to me. A lot of you have dealt with a lot of love bombing, a lot of narcissistic relationships and partners. So the part of you that is feeling backed into a corner right now, the part of your nervous system that's so triggered, comes from that aspect. And I feel like with this healing heart being right next to all of this energy, like, there is freedom from toxic relationships and addictive cycles. Like, you are healing from major heartbreak. You are closing out a cycle that has been held in place for far longer than it needs to. And they're immediately pulling me to that Ace of Cups at the bottom of the deck. That's what you're bringing in. Literally, I can't make this up. That's literally the Phoenix. New phase, rekindle, renew, transformation, growth, changed mind. And then the Bride at the bottom of the deck. Like, you want real love, and that's okay, babe. And if this person isn't the right person for you, then that will show. All right? I hope that helps, my lovies. And I will catch y'all next time. Right, this is for those of you that chose pile number 4. You were drawn to my Light Seers Tarot deck. As always, this particular deck is usually an indication to me of a high vibrational energy. So for some of you, it could just be as simple as, like, what opportunities are coming in is you being in a more high vibe. Take it however it resonates, of course, but What I also find kind of interesting, some of y'all could have just come from pile number 3 because the very first card to come out happened to be the Knight of Cups, and I was immediately reminded how that was in the last group, okay? The song Drew Barrymore by Bryce is the first one to come on for this collective's energy, and the bottom of the deck is the Ace of Swords. So this is like the overall vibe for the spread today. For a lot of you, I feel like clarity's coming forward. Some sort of truth is coming into your mind surrounding a relationship for a lot of you. Yeah, and then there's the 3 of Swords and the 5 of Wands and the 5 of Cups. Some of you, much like pile number 3, have been in a bit of a triggered response. Like, I feel like your trauma's been reacting versus your reality. Take it however it resonates, okay? But I feel like some sort of clarity moment is coming forward for this group. Take it however it resonates for you. For a lot of you, I feel like this clarity has to do with whoever this Knight of Cups is. Like, something about bananas could be significant. Some of y'all, this is very specific, but they are pulling me to the roses that he's holding. This person could show up with, like, a bouquet of roses at your doorstep. They're pulling me to the shoes, which are giving me, like, Converse. They don't necessarily have to be, but... And then they're pulling me to the little envelope and the, like, little... something like that. I'm hearing something about a letter. Honestly, for some of you, this person, whoever this Knight of Cups is representative of for you, they are about to pop up with a offer, okay? I am hearing a love offer. I do feel like there is emotional weight behind this. So I feel like this person could have, like, a gift for you. If it's not an actual, like, letter that they wrote to, like, express their love, then it's, like, a gift of some sort that they're going to bring with, like, flowers. Like, I genuinely do feel like someone's going to show up with flowers. I am hearing, especially if this person's been distant. They want to show you some sort of truth. They want to show you how they feel, and they feel like this is the best way to do that. There's also something significant about how this person, their love language could be gift giving. So I feel like this person's going to come forward with some sort of a gift. Interesting. This is something that this collective has been hopeful towards. So what's really intriguing to me is this group, if you did just come from pile number 3, your energy is completely different. Because pile number 3 was very much in the trigger. You were still in the reactive place. Whereas this particular collective, you're good with whatever unfolds here. So it's kind of, honestly, it's really intriguing to me because the energies are different too for the Knight of Cups. So, like, some of y'all, if you came from pile number 3, you probably knew that that was past energy. Like, there could have been a past relationship that was keeping you kind of bound to your triggers because they weren't stepping up. Whereas this particular group is the opposite. Like, whoever this Knight of Cups is very different energetically. Like, this is somebody that is willing to step up to the plate, someone that's willing to put that groundwork in because they do see equal value here. And I feel like this collective, like, you see that. You see the difference between the two people, is what I'm hearing. And if it's not two people presently, like, this could be you recognizing the difference between people from your past versus people in your, like, whoever this is. Take it how it resonates. Something about asking you on a date, inviting you to a movie is what I'm hearing for some of you. Whoever this is too, I'm being really drawn to the aspect of purpose in this energy. So the star card usually indicates purpose, renewal, spiritually speaking, faith, hope, etc. And I feel like for this group, like, whoever this is a part of your life path. They're a part of your purpose. There's romance coming in, I'm telling y'all. Like, this person's coming in with some sort of an offer. An opportunity to grow is what I just heard. The song Just in Case by Morgan Wallen. And then we have the 2 of Wands with the 2 of Pentacles. So two twos and a tarot reading indicate union. But I am going to pull that up in my guidebook because I feel called to. And what's interesting is the 2 of Pentacles came out with the Strength card. So for some of you, this person was busy. They were juggling some shit. They were dealing with, like, priorities in their 3D, whether this was, like, work or school or family or money. Like, take it however it resonates. But this person had some shit on their plate. And I feel like this was mirrored. Like, I feel like this particular collective, you were in the process of balancing your own shit, is what I'm hearing. You were in the process of kind of, like, making plans for what it was that you wanted to create in your future. Because the 2 of Wands, traditionally speaking, is all about progress. It's all about mapping out your next steps. And I feel like this group, especially with the imagery on the 2 of Wands, like, you were looking out to kind of decide what you wanted to do next with this world and the car here. And I feel like you were trying to find, like, balance in your day-to-day life to be able to maintain and, like, bring that into fruition. So there could have been a blockage in the connection between you and whoever this Knight of Cups was, but it wasn't personal. it was because this needed to happen for both of you. The next steps of life needed to be mapped out, is what I'm hearing. Now, for some of you, this was more so targeted towards, like, you figuring out how to balance your time a little bit more accordingly. Take it however it resonates, okay? But the number of 2 depicts union or partnership with another person, a spiritual energy, or 2 parts of yourself. When a 2 comes up in a reading, it means you're forming an alliance of some sort, or you want to. Something about the TV show Big Brother. 2 also represents balance. It may show you're balancing polarities in your life, or that you need to correct an imbalance. Because the number 2 follows the ace, it also suggests development in whatever you started with that ace. This may mean expanding, stabilizing, splintering your efforts. Perhaps joining forces with someone can help you achieve your objective. Interesting. Even more confirmation to me. I feel like this group is like opening up, you're expanding. And there is something coming in for y'all. So I think it's even more intriguing. As I said, like the strength card went on top of this 2 of Pentacles, right? So I feel like a lot of you are starting to learn how to balance yourself without losing your power, is what I'm being guided to mention. They also want me to bring it back to this energy here with the Knight of Cups. There is communication coming, and there's romance involved, like 100%. This person might invite you on a date, or they might invite you out. They might invite you somewhere out of the blue, is what I just heard. Take it however it resonates, but with this 9 of Cups and the Strength card here too, like I feel like this is a fulfillment. Like I feel like this is something you've been praying for. This is gonna put you in a position of power. Interesting. But there is a need for this group to take a bit of a leap of faith into whatever is manifesting, into whatever is coming forward. Alright, what do we have, please, for pile number 4? I do feel like they keep bringing me back to this. Like, this has to do with, a wish come true. A lot of y'all are about to be fulfilled in every aspect of your life, especially spicily, especially in a sexual way, okay? Like, you are about to be so fulfilled pleasure-wise. Like, whew. Yeah, there's some sort of travel involved here. Travel, adventure, hunt, plan, move. Some of you, part of what you were putting in, like, ideas towards could have been moving. Others of you, this is more about, like, your next chapter. You've been thinking about where you want to go next. You've been thinking about what you want to do with your career, what you want to do with your energy, etc. Like, it doesn't always need to be literally. Some of you could be planning a vacation. Some of you could be planning your next healing cycle. Take it however it resonates, but we have the luck energy here. Happiness, blessings, prosperity, and abundance. Beautiful things are coming in for this collective, I'm telling y'all. And then we have the violin energy. Creatively talented. Musically gifted and engaging intuition. Whatever this collective's vice is for creativity, it helps you tap deeper into your intuitive knowing. Soulmate. I told y'all. This Knight of Cups is a soulmate. This is a destined love. What did I say in the very beginning? Something about like a purpose together. This is written in the stars. Unconditional. You complement each other really well. There's also something very symbolic about the wolves on this card's imagery that are really pulling me in. So for some of you, that could be a spirit totem. Interesting. Okay. So this is very interesting. Excuse me. We have fighting, toxic, divine masculine, needle, submissive, and pure intention. So there was some sort of disagreement here. I'm hearing the word tension. This person could be struggling with jealousy towards, like, you. Honestly, I am hearing, like, the idea of you with someone else triggers somebody. Okay, so, like, this person, if there was a disagreement, if there's been distance, it could be because they're worried about competition and they're trying to work through their own toxicity. They're trying to work through their own bullshit and recognizing that they don't get to own you, is what I'm hearing. There's something about this, like, whoever this divine masculine is feels a little devalued. They feel like you don't need them. And I feel like this is somebody who's very much used to the type of partner that, like, relies on them for everything. So because you don't need them but you want them, it's triggering some toxic characteristics in this person. The other side of this is I do feel like guided to say to this collective, if your needs aren't being met, if you're not feeling respected, if you're feeling depleted, devalued, if you're feeling like someone's physically or verbally abusive towards you, you need to walk away, okay? Take it how it resonates for you, of course, but yeah, this person feels like you're a rare find. We also have the submissive energy. And then pure intentions. Actually, the pure intentions goes on top of this one. That's crazy. So this divine masculine, whoever this is someone that is very masculine energy, okay? So this person's very connected to the physical, like physical labor. They're very good at self-restraint. They're very logic-based. They're probably very secure financially speaking. They don't necessarily need to be like in a physical labor job to be in a masculine energy, okay? Something about a whippersnapper. But this person has pure intentions. This is real. This is genuine. This is someone very authentic, someone very selfless. And again, like, I feel like this is a mirrored, like, you both feel like you're hard to find. You feel like you're hard to replicate. But there is a blockage with this energy here. So this fighting card says disagreements, jealousy, conflict, battle, struggle, competition, and tension. And I think it's interesting that the toxic's going on top of that. Give me one more for that. Yeah. This has to do with some sort of an illusion. Some of you, your insecurities from your past are clouding your present. Others of you, it's like I mentioned, this person could be feeling a type of way about competition with you. Take it however it resonates, but this moon energy says difficulty, insecurity, illusions, deception, fear, hidden things. And this also says hidden. So there could be something you can't see clearly. We have the wishes. Give me one more on that moon. And then we have fire energy going on top of that. So there could be something about a fire sign that's not being authentic with you. For some of you, this has to do with a past partner, is all I keep hearing on repeat. Like, there's someone from your past who was really toxic. Someone who was constantly creating fights with you, who wasn't valuing you, who wasn't respecting you, who was depleting you and, like, draining you of your life force, is what I just heard. Your needs were never met in this relationship. And I feel like it's created a lot of false illusions, is what I'm hearing. So some of you have a tendency to project your past trauma onto present energy, and whoever this is over here with the divine masculine and that Knight of Cups, completely opposite to this energy over here. Some of you, this is definitely someone from your past that could have been heavily narcissistic. But spirits, with this submissive energy being right next to all of this, I feel like there is a need for you to just have a little bit more faith and trust. Observe and obey is what I just heard. Yeah, I feel like the more you observe, the more you trust, the more you kind of submit to the divine, the more truth and clarity is going to come forward here. The other thing I find really interesting is this card says submit, unassertive, obedient, humble, kinky, roleplay, and good girl. There is truth coming forward, and I feel like there is a potential for marriage. And with the wishes energy, like, there's a magical moment coming into the universe, like, from the universe. But Spirit's saying, like, you need to put your intentions out there and trust that this will manifest. We do have the seductive energy, gratification, flattery, false promises, and temptation, and then empath going on top of that. So some of y'all are being guided to make sure that you have boundaries in place because you're a very motherly figure. You have very nurturing energy. You're very compassionate. You're very supportive. You're caring and kind. And I feel like that has been taken advantage of from multiple different people who are just trying to, like, get a piece of the pie. So Spirit's saying what you need to start doing is tap more into your emotional intelligence, recognize where your boundaries need to be put in place, and people who respect your boundaries are going to be the ones that you invest in. People who don't respect your boundaries are the ones that you don't want to engage in, okay? The more you do that, the more you're going to see a lot of truth, is what I'm hearing. We do have, like, an ending here. A transition, ending, rebirth. This has to do with reckless behavior, which just immediately made me think of that Nick Jonas song. Reckless behavior. That's not Nick Jonas. Pillow Talk, maybe? Anyway, I feel like a lot of you had a tendency to deceive yourself. You would cause yourself pain and become a little bit self-destructive because of that old wound. And I feel like part of what's being reborn here, part of what you're letting go of and transitioning from is that chapter of your life. We do also have celebratory energy. Parties, ceremonies, recognition, honor. I don't know. Take it how it resonates. Bottom of the deck, we do have fitness. Health, diet, wellness, exercise program, and drinking more water. Some of y'all could be taking better care of your physical needs right now, and I feel like that's what's bringing something in for you. Take it how it resonates. Your power, I can sense it. You are an ego boost. I don't know why I was pulled to these, but I was. I am willing to spend to make you happy. What did I say about gift giving? I feel you deserve better than me. I worry about you. I am in love with you. You are the best thing that ever happened to me. I did that to hurt you. I am too insecure. Your vibration sends me into a spiral. Let's get 2 more. You make me forget about my last heartbreak. And then 1 more. I can't even be with anyone else. So if any of you were worried about a third party, that's just not the case. I plan on getting back to you soon. Anywho, that's what I have for pile number 4. I hope that helps whoever it was meant for. Once again, the songs are in the description box below for anyone that is interested. And I'll catch y'all next time.